All right, sweet. We are live. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. I think everything's good. I had to change my all my OBS settings and stuff for when I record during the LAN. So I need to just make a new profile for it. But you know, when you're just doing things on the fly, not planning, you just brute force it. So I just ended up changing one of my normal scenes for recording, but I think we should be good to go. I think audio looks good, got background music going, got the different scenes ready to go for the stream. How's everybody doing? We got one second, someone just deliver something. Yes, Amazon deliveries. So give me 1 second. Let me go grab these deliveries so they don't get swiped off my front door. All right. Who do we have first in the house? Most of the members and usuals are actually in the short stream today. We got Craig Lilly, Staying 2007. What's up? What's up? We got Candelario Garcia. It's Unbroken. Lots of familiar names in the short stream, but on the normal horizontal side of the streams, we got KL130 as always. What up, Logan? We got Chemical Age, Chase Atwood, Giant Robots, Damien Hugh, Hoagie? No, Hogue. We got Lugum Silver, Compression, The Reluctant Hero. We got Coalition Gaming, Chris in the house, Vanameek, It's Unbroken over here as well. First time catching the stream, what's up, Zenny? Hello, big fan of yours. Love LAN Party stories. Your friends are funny. They are funny. I love my friends. That's why we're friends. Not just because they're funny, but they just, thankfully, happen to be awesome people. Like, sometimes you make friends over the years and stuff, and they end up not being that great of people. But I can legitimately say that my friends are amazing, and I am fortunate to have them as friends. Especially good friends of many years. Like Rogue, Hogue, okay. Just like a rogue. I'm very familiar with rogues. What's up, Car Audio Seeker? What's up, Too Shiesty? We are just chilling for now. And then we have a number of topics actually today. We'll talk about the LAN stuff, because I know there's a number of people who, especially people who attend the stream, because they are more of the ride and die hardcore fans. You guys like the LAN stuff, so I did put together a quick 4-minute. I'll show you what I have for the LAN party, like the whole video that I need to cut down. I posted a little preview on my channel actually. Let me see if I can go to it. But I'm just gonna give it another few minutes before we get started. Let people use the bathroom, get their drinks, get settled in. Let me see. What switch do you use for your LANs? It's a... Let me see if I can find it. I think it's a TP-Link. Switch 16 port. It's a unmanaged switch. Is it this one? I think it's this one, actually. Specifically. Hey, what's up, Simon Lee? Hello, hello, hello. Hello from mobile, says Robert Fixed It. Hello. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I bought this one, I don't know how many years ago. But yeah, it's just plug and play. I'm not a network person, so I don't know like what the different types of switches out there are. This one, literally, you plug it into the wall for power, you plug in your source or you know, the data input from wherever your router or your modem is, and then you just plug in all your other computers and it just works. There's no configuring, there's no going into settings. And then we have 16 ports because one of them is used up for the data coming in, and then, you know, the other 15 for the data being split out. So Logan, actually, I'm actually taking a Net Plus certification course. Nice. So yeah, you will likely, you might already know way more than me about networking stuff. So yeah, I'm super dumb when it comes to that. 16 port and managed switch twins. Mine is a ZXL 16 port. Yeah, basically how I chose this port switch was what's the cheapest thing on Amazon with the highest number of ports is how I chose it. So can someone explain what a switch is exactly? I can explain it in like dumb person terms, which is something, it's basically something to split your internet connection. That's how I would explain it in dumb terms. But I'm sure there's a much more technical, intelligent way to explain it. I love a good switch. Use one in my room for all junk that wants internet, says Igor. Got mine on eBay best offer like 45 bucks. Nice. I'm pretty sure I bought mine for around 45, 50 bucks new on Amazon. But yeah, I guess it's not super common for people to have switches, I would imagine. If you just need like internet, like a hardline internet connection to only a few devices in your house. This is mostly for if you have a ton of different devices that you want connected. Because I would imagine nowadays, even people on like full desktop PCs, like for convenience sake, and with how good Wi-Fi is, I would imagine a lot of people are just on Wi-Fi now. Wi-Fi speeds are plenty good enough for downloads, as well as just when you're gaming, you don't even need that fast of internet. Especially if you're not like competitive gaming, and latency and just the overall speed doesn't matter. But yeah, I guess not many people will probably have switches because they have no use for it. Yes, so that is a good point, Simon. So a lot of modems usually have like, the one input for the line coming from your city or ISP or whatever, and then they'll usually have like anywhere from like 3 to 5 other things that you can plug into it. So yeah, you can, if that's the amount of devices that you have, then you're good to go. But for example, for me, right, my modem / router combo is in our office. So in that room, if you need to plug in multiple things, you can reach it. But then I have my setup down here in the studio where I also connect multiple computers down here. So instead of having to run like 3 or 4 lines from the office upstairs down here, off of the modem, I have it running down here to a switch in which I could split off to like, my main computer, my benchmarking computer, laptop, anything I need. So it's just enough, like a convenient way to split a connection at wherever room you are in, if it's not in the main modem room or modem / router room. Yeah. And I'm not aware of any modems or routers that do have 10 plus ports. There probably are ones out there, but most of the ones that I see usually only have like 3 or 4 free ones that you can use. So for us, because we LAN with upwards of 10 plus people, something like that is convenient. I think most people in our LAN group have Wi-Fi, so they could go the Wi-Fi route, but I think it's just, especially when you're downloading games, and my Wi-Fi drops off pretty quickly. Even though I do have a mesh network set up, the speeds on the Wi-Fi are like 250 or something compared to actual gig up and down. Like we can actually let's run a live speed test. So we'll run the Google one. So right now I'm actually, wow, it's only 250. 250 down, and I'm hardwired in. Let me check the other speed test. I don't believe I have anything downloading in the background, but all right. The speedtest.net one I'm running right now on the side because I don't want my IP out there. Yeah, so the other one is So we're going 900 down right now. We got, and then what's the up? 900 down, 900. My up is faster than my down, which is not usually the case, and that's usually what you don't want because people download more than they upload. Tech drama this week is Sony's loss on Concord game is now being reported. Yeah, I saw that actually. Because initially it was 200 million. What is going on with... Give me 1 second. Something's up with the... I think that's the shorts chat. Let me see. Something's up with the chat being shown right here. They're not updating. Okay, so that's going to be the shorts stream. Give me 1 second. Live chat shorts. Okay, let's try this again. All right, this should update now as people talk correctly. Test. Dino Nuggy. Okay, we're good. Okay, so let me get caught up. Waiting for Amazon to deliver my Arctic freezer. AIO, nice choice. Okay, for the tech drama of the week, tech news of the week. Yeah, so Concord, I never even knew about it. It just, and I'm also not a fan of hero shooter games, but initially the losses reported or supposedly was 200 million, but now that figure has been updated to 400 million. So $400 million loss on a quote-unquote AAA game, which is, it's got to be one of the biggest flops in recent years. I'm trying to think of game flops within the last even decade or so. No Man's Sky was kind of one of them, right? Did Cyberpunk count as a flop, really? WoW? Does WoW... Which WoW counts as a flop? I don't think WoW ever flopped. The expansions, no matter what, WoW expansions always... Because to them, all that matters is that it's sold, right? So every WoW expansion goes like this. Game releases, everyone's super hyped, saying this is like the best version of WoW. They made so many changes. Then people get bored a few months into it. Then you have the expansion slightly die off until the next one comes out. And then people are super hyped again. But yeah, I don't remember any of the WoW expansions in the last 10 years. I guess 10 years is a long span. Maybe I should have said like 5 years. Yeah, because 10 years goes back to Warlords of Draenor, I think. But yeah... Miskiff's game, did that even release to be able to count as a flop? Oh, Anthem. Okay. Anthem. Yeah, Anthem is a pretty big one. I enjoyed what I played of Anthem, honestly. I thought Anthem was really fun. I feel like they shouldn't have abandoned the game. They should have just, you know, stopped patching for like a period of 6 months to a year and then put their heads down and gotten to work and just updated it. Because I think people are wanting that style of like looter shooter game. And having one where you can essentially be Iron Man and fly around, that's awesome. But yeah, I think the gameplay loop and the end game is what kind of killed Anthem. But that's something that you could fix. Many games have fixed issues like that, so... Didn't that game break consoles? Which one? Anthem? Or was that a different one? No, I know New World bricked graphics cards. I don't know about breaking consoles though. You can still can you play Anthem still? Alright, we're about to get into it in a second here. I just want to finish off. I also want to talk about MKBHD and his drama lately because I'm curious to hear people's thoughts about that. Because as you guys probably know, I am a fan of Marquez, aka MKBHD, but he made a pretty bad business move, and he's getting a lot of flack for it. So Anthem game, was that on Steam? Can you buy this? No, was it not on Steam, or is it only on Origin? Can you still buy this? Oh my god. I'm just trying to see if you can even buy it nowadays. I think you could play it. I think the servers are still up. Get Anthem. Yeah, so it's not on Steam. Okay, I remember this. It was on EA. You can get it by going to EA Play, or you can buy it. It's only $19. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty interesting and fun game. If you already have EA Play, or if it goes on sale, or you can buy a game key. Let's see, game key Anthem. Can you buy it for like? Oh no, if you can buy it for like a few bucks, I think it's worth jumping in and messing around, but not worth paying 20 bucks for sure. And if it's on Game Pass, definitely check it out too. Give me 1 second. I need to expand my chats because I can only see a couple of people's chats at a time on my screen. Okay. Was it a Pocky or M&M Land this time? It was... We actually had giant Pockies that we bought from Japan when we went to Japan. But what was the main snack? There was no actual candy. We got a box of these snacks instead. It's a Costco Vanilla Wafers Oreo pack. Where's that box? It's like it was like mini packs. If I can find the box. Oh, this thing right here, the variety pack. Hey, Elastro, welcome to Nerd and Big Budget. What's up? Casey is in the house. But yeah, so this is what we got for the Costco portion for snacks. There's no candy. There's this, and then what's that? Hula chips. And we got Martin in the house as well. We will probably be seeing LAN members join in on this. I need to let them know. Give me a second. That we are going to watch a LAN preview. Okay, so they'll probably join in and stuff like that. But yeah, we did not get candy this time around. This was probably one of the healthier ones. We try to get healthier each time. We had a Subway sandwich making bar, which you'll see in the preview video that I've kind of put together. Yes, there were Dino Nuggies. You will see Dino Nuggies in the preview video too. Also, did we finish? So we did finish the Dino Nuggies and the Tots this time around. I'm trying to think if this is the first LAN we've ever done that. Usually we don't get through all of them. But literally on the last day for breakfast, brunch-ish time, we just dumped the rest of them into the air fryers, and we did empty the full bag of Costco Dino, or box of Costco Dino Nuggies, and the 2 bag of tater tot coins. Nilla wafers are low-key pretty legit. They went very fast. The Nutter Butters, Nilla wafers, Ritz crackers went first. The Chip Ahoys and the Oreo mini Oreos were actually surprisingly the ones that did not get eaten up, and now I'm stuck with them, finishing them up. Imagine ordering all this on... No, we never... yeah, I would not use Instacart for this. It's very much a go in person, make decisions on the fly type of thing, which me and Melissa actually did prior to LAN. Just because Costco eats into the time of LAN. Like, if you go to Costco during the Friday, it'll take at least like an hour and a half to 2 hours, especially since we both went to Costco and Costco Business Center. I just don't want it eating into LAN time if possible. So me and Melissa took care of the Costco stuff, and you know, I messaged the group about like the food stuff. Yes. And then of course people always leave stuff behind in every LAN. So what we do is we take a picture and post it to the Discord, and then people claim their items. Martin left some of his shower stuff. Yeah. Fracture says, I barely subbed just now, but I've been watching the LAN parties for 2 years now. I've been trying to convince my friends to do LAN parties for a while. What you gotta do is show them the videos, show them the good times that are had. I think, so I've received comments over the years from people, like, especially early on in the LAN party story series, before it got like a cult following. People would always say, like, why do you guys even waste time doing this? It seems like a hassle having to lug your computer, your monitor, and stuff like that. Like, you could just play games on the internet, which is true, but a lot of things in life, since we're so connected digitally, you could do it, like, over the internet and Discord. Like, you could watch sports stuff over, you know, Discord, and everyone watch at their own house and stuff. But people still gather and get together and do things that they enjoy, because it's very different in terms of the atmosphere and the environment that you're in. Like, and also, I will say, it is not our fault that games do not offer a LAN mode where you basically have no latency anymore. Like, all games nowadays are forced to play online. There's no offline mode. There's no LAN play mode. I mean, I'm sure there's like a couple of games that are still releasing that do have LAN modes. I can't think of any that we play, but yeah. Like, if they brought... I think that might be part of the reason they got rid of that, too. Because everything is so, like, what's it called? You know, they're trying to protect against piracy and stuff like that. So, they don't want any multiplayer gameplay if you're going to pirate something. So, yeah. There used to be things called malls where people would go to arcades and play games together. Those still exist. We still have, like, We still have GameWorks in Seattle, which is, pretty successful, and there's Dave & Buster's and stuff, but yeah. But I remember the mall arcades. They were never as cool as something like GameWorks or Dave & Buster's. They were much more limited, but they were a thing. I mean, arcades and malls died. Malls in general are kind of dying. I miss the internet cafe days playing Counter-Strike and WoW. Dude, if it was ever in the cards, I've mentioned this multiple times before. Opening up a LAN center would be such a dream of mine. Just because when I was in high school, I never had enough money to like really go to the LAN centers. Most of the time, so we had a LAN center in my town. It's shut down by this point, but we had a LAN center in my town, and a lot of my friends actually frequented it a lot and hung out there. A lot of the times when I went, because I did not have like money to be spending on, you know, playing at a LAN center versus just playing at home on our family computer, I just went there to hang out. Like, I was one of those poor people who went there, like, and sometimes I spent all day there because my friends were there all day, and I didn't, you know, pay a single cent. I did not play on the computers at all. I just hung out and watched people play games, maybe hopped on to their session or their account and played a bit, but yeah, it would be awesome to be able to make a LAN center that was super affordable and accessible for people, and somehow get sponsors to like pay for it, so that, you know, because no one wants to pay. I don't know what the rate of a LAN center would even be nowadays if they exist. Let me see, LAN center. Oh, XP League Redmond. So let's see their website. Cause like, who really wants to pay anywhere from $7 to $10 an hour? Try us for free. What's the pricing? Pricing. About our league. Try for free. Join the league. But just because of how expensive just cost of living these days are more expensive, right? So that means rent, electricity, everything, staff is expensive to maintain something like a LAN center. Plus, you got to fill it up with systems. It's just, I don't know if it's a good business model to be profitable, let alone break even, trying to run a LAN center. They had Jolt energy drinks. Hey, we got Jesse in the house. Yes, Jolt energy drinks. We missed the other side. Yeah, I too wish to open a net cafe. I'm sure they still exist nowadays, but I don't know. As like, you gotta look at what the core audience of a LAN center would be, and I think it's definitely gonna be kids in high school college, maybe young adults. And that's like the demographic of people who have the least amount of money. And then when you're old enough to have a career and have your own job and stuff, you probably have a nice setup at home. So aside from going to a LAN center to hang out with other people, like paying to play on their computers doesn't make that much sense. And it's just like that money could be going towards groceries or like your next PC upgrade. So yeah, I don't know. This is something I think about a lot, but it's just a pipe dream. Probably never gonna happen. Hey, what's up, Adam C? Thank you for tuning in whenever you can. I appreciate the kind words. You missed Surge. The best part of gaming is with friends, and to do it in person with food and drinks is the best. LAN parties for life, baby. Exactly. The people who criticize it's a waste of time and like a hassle to bring computers over, like there's so much that we do during LAN parties that's not just sitting at our computers playing games online. There's a lot of just there's so many side conversations, as you guys probably see from the LAN party story videos. Whenever I'm just walking through or just going to the kitchen area or some other parts of the house, there's always people hanging out somewhere, just having side conversations, talking. Like we all eat together as a group. We cook together. People help like chop veggies and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely an experience. It's not just sitting playing online games in the same room together. Yeah, Whalelands would actually be fun to go to, and since I'm not too far away, it's only a few hours, I would be down to go to once they start hosting LAN stuff at their badminton place. We used to do GTA 2, D2, Counter-Strike, and Heroes of Might and Mordor, right? No, Heroes of Might and Magic. What am I saying? Mordor. 3 at the Internet Cafe. GTA 2. GTA 2 did not have an online mode, right? That's GTA 2 is the top-down 2D one. I played GTA 2. I'm not aware that it had online. I'm pretty sure it didn't, because GTA didn't have online until 4, I believe. Off topic, but I get so upset that I never was able to go to midnight launch parties. I lived about an hour from near cities that had a GameStop. I don't think I've ever been to a midnight launch party when it comes to like a game release. I have bought games the day of, but dude, okay, my mom was super strict, okay, when we were in middle school and high school. There was no way she was going to take us to the game store at midnight to pick up a game. Like, we reserved games, you know, we put the $5 down and stuff like that, but, yeah, I don't think I ever went to a midnight launch of any game, which, I mean, kind of sucks because it sounds awesome, but when you're that young, especially with strict Asian parents, yeah, that wasn't happening. You can wait till after school the next day to pick up the game and start playing. But are people allowed to swear at your LAN games? Yeah, people are allowed to swear. I mean, when I first did the LAN party story videos, I tried to like omit the swearing just because like I was like, oh, I don't want YouTube to demonetize me and stuff like that. But nowadays it's actually fine. Like they don't demonetize for swearing. Yeah, so there's no rules. Guess you'll be strict when she asks for a walker. Exactly, Jason. Transpired says, I can totally see Jesse in an internet cafe watching Twice fan cams. What is Twice fan cams? I'm not aware of what this is. Fill up the LAN center with Optiplexes and GT30s. No. I wish I did LAN parties, but don't have one to do it, and I'm only one in my group that's a gamer. Okay, we are already talking about LAN parties, so let's get to that portion. Okay, so let me post some high quality pictures because the YouTube one freaking compressed the crap out of them. So here's some pictures from the LAN, and you know how different. So Nick did his Photoshop magic. These photos look so bad without like the editing because we were getting natural light and only the people in the front were getting lit and the people in the back weren't. So we were trying to figure out the different ways to position ourselves in pose for this photo. So here's the first one we took, and then I found that there was actually a good corner that we could get. So this kind of shows you everyone who attended. We had 11 people out of 15. My count was off. I thought we had 16 total and 12 were coming, but it was I was one off on both of them. So this LAN, we had 11 attendees out of our core group of 15 that attended, which I think at max we've ever had 14 because we've had people had to stay home for whatever reason. But yeah, so this is the group, and then here's a shot of us gaming. This was a planned shot. We were like, all right, everyone, look like you're doing something on your PC. So that's how we got this shot. And okay, let's play the 4-minute video that I put together. So here's a preview. This is me literally going to the LAN party. Like, I dropped everything on the timeline and then just grabbed as quick of clips I could to put together. So these clips might not even make it to the end video.
Put the first purpose in. Usually me.
Ding dong.
Hello.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, hello. Oh, it's so bright. It's so bright.
We wanted to come see the setup before we started bringing stuff in.
Oh yeah, you can just bring it in. We have room. I think it is James' turn to toast.
Oh shit! To land?
Yep, they wanted that. Like, we have our own base. Yeah, whatever. Sure. Yeah, I want my own deal. You got it.
You got it. Yeah. My phone.
Yes. Oh, thanks, Danny's got it. It's like, okay, well, I guess you're a guild now. Like,
Some other player in here.
Use your things to make it happen. But yeah, of course. Why not? If you want to do it, do it. I like that.
Now, on the next surface, come back. Now we go. Oh,
That was terrible.
oh, we're good.
Go.
We're kind of good, maybe. Just run, just drag us around.
Ooh.
Whoever's up there. Oh, I'm up next. Let's go. Climb.
Oh! Casey ended the game.
We made it. And apparently, whatever happened in LOL was intense.
Your ghost, yeah.
Oh, dang.
Oh, maybe. Oh, maybe.
Are you killing
Oh, maybe.
Get that smoke. Damn.
Here's our Subway
Make sure you
sandwich
look at
time.
everything and not miss out on stuff.
This is a really good idea, Gary.
This was Melissa's idea, by the way.
Melissa is a
Not mine. I
genius.
cannot take credit.
I'm so
Thanks,
glad you put a
Melissa.
ring on it. It was amazing. Melissa, she was coaching you last night. That was so fucking funny. She's so into it. Like, Danny, what the heck? You're moving.
Oh, we got fruit yogurt? Heck yeah.
Does that go in the fridge?
This is
Oh,
supermarket
it's in the fridge.
together.
Finally! Hey, we got it.
Fridge. People are buying a lot of salt.
Oh, there's like no room in the fridge.
Well, yeah, because I just put the
There's
fruit
no room
yogurt
in the
in.
yogurt.
Well, I mean,
Take away like half of the yogurt.
you can't. There's an empty thing on the bottom.
Did you get rid of the box that had the yogurt in it?
Yeah.
Put it back in.
Oh
You already
no.
tossed it out, didn't you?
Well, you can here. Put it on the bottom.
Danny, price.
Yep.
so many
Yep.
people stealing.
Yeah, I'm pricing it.
There's so many people stealing.
Wait, you wanted people to steal. Now they're stealing.
This fucking guy is gonna get away from me.
The heck, where are all the broomsticks at?
Don't ask me why I have this, okay?
So we wanted the D&D, but we had to push it till
If there was
Sunday.
ever a time
And
to-
Sunday's usually where people sleep in,
Because
so we came up with
everybody agreed
a pack
yesterday.
that if people didn't wake up, we would splash their face with cold water. So that's ice water in that gigantic syringe. And James was the only one who got who got ice water
Morning
on
water
his
and
face.
FaceTime.
while
There's a whole
sleeping.
bunch of them, so you feel free to pick whatever you
And then
guys
we did the
want.
D&D, and there's the
laser
Dino
minis are
Nuggies.
just, I brought those as well because
And
it
the
gives more
tops.
variation of what you guys can pick from. There are humanoid minis in there. Purposely went in utility. I'm like talking on the side like, hey, we got to throw down over here. You're on my team right now.
I feed you a dino nugget as a sign of cooperation.
Straight axes.
Yeah, it's like the long enough.
It's the old version.
And here's the packing up.
Waiting, man.
Alright, see you next.
Thank you for having us, Melissa.
Yes, thank you, Melissa. All of our bullcrap. Thank you, Danny, for hosting a LAN.
Of course, always a pleasure. Alright, so that was the preview, and I wanted to show you guys the what it looks like, the project file. So if any of you are familiar with Premiere, so I haven't started editing this yet. I just literally dropped everything to the timeline. So as you can see, and I color coded it, right? So like this is the pre-LAN stuff in purple. This is the first day, Friday of LAN in blue. The greenish cerulean is Saturday, and then the pink is the last day, Sunday. Now, it's probably hard to see if you're not like full screen or whatever, but if you go to the timeline, the hour mark, so I guess you might be able to see it here a little bit. So on my Canon camera alone, I took 20, so the timeline goes to about 24 hours is like the max you can do in Premiere Pro apparently, plus so this much. So I have about 26 hours of straight up actual recorded footage. Like I can scroll through this timeline and oh, you can't really see much there, but this is all just straight up recorded footage. So I have to cut all of that down to, you know, I try to not make it over 2 hours because it seems excessive if it's any longer than that. And this is only the Canon footage. So then I have this tab with the gameplay, and this is 16 hours if we look at way over here. So this has a bunch of actual full session recordings as well as replays of, like, you know, I set the OBS to capture the last 2 minutes if I press the replay or capture button. So if something funny happens, then I could press it and then I have like a funny moment. So that's, and then I also recorded it in double resolution so that I have full resolution of the webcam and the normal cam. So yeah, that's what the project file is looking like. It is a monstrosity as always. I basically review all of this and then cut it down to a watchable length. Because, you know, not everything, like sometimes the camera is just sitting here at the LAN. Like here, let me play an example. Hand tossed again. Alright, so we're talking about pizza here. An hour?
Viger, if you can, is the main target. Oh my god, I got fucking destroyed.
So sometimes I just set the camera at LAN.
Yeah.
And forget about it, but it just records stuff. So I not all that makes it into the LAN because some of it's just boring. But if something funny does happen, you know, I cut that segment and put it in. So the reason I record 26 hours is because the more you record, the more you can get highlight moments and just fun interactions and stuff. If you're not constantly recording, something funny could happen and it doesn't work that way to turn on the camera after the moment has passed. So that's why I constantly have the camera on, resulting in over the course of, you know, over the course of like, I don't know, 50 or probably 60 hours, 2.5 days, I have the camera on for like 20 plus hours. So yeah. But that's the project file, and that's, you know, this is gonna come out around December. I'm aiming for the Christmas time frame, you know, just so that when the video drops, it's gonna be during most people's holiday Christmas breaks from work and school and stuff like that. So if they want to, they can binge watch some of the other LAN Party story series leading up to it, which a lot of people told me that they do. Like when they know a LAN Party video is coming out, they say they go back and watch all the old ones leading up to the new one. So yeah, I think the Christmas time frame is great because more people will have time to watch it in its entirety instead of having to like watch it segments at a time due to being busy. But yeah. Glasses dude's girlfriend Jan's fiance Meg is actually out of town. That's why she couldn't make it. But yeah, she had, you know, personal family stuff, so she could not go. Nerd on an editing program, exactly. Yes, my wife did have my merch on, indeed. Whose house was LAN at this time? This is my house. How many batteries did you need to swap? So I have 4 batteries for my main camera, and I always keep them on rotation. Every time it gets to about 50% full, I swap it, and then I put it on the charger with the other ones. So, I mean, battery swaps, I must have swapped batteries at least, let me think. Sometimes I swap early too, just because I don't want to get to a point where, you know, it actually gets low and I don't realize it. Probably like 30 battery swaps. Yeah, about 30 probably. After every hour or 2 of recording, I would probably swap. So that wouldn't be 30. That would be that'll be about 15 times. 15 to 20 times probably. Gonna need to build a travel NAS to have cameras. No. I could not even imagine trying to edit this with multi-camera, multi-mic setup. Like, imagine having all this footage times like multiple cameras. That would be ridiculous. I don't know how reality shows do it. Like, you know, the reality Love Island or whatever the heck those shows are. Big Brother, the ones where they have like, they're recording they have 8 or 10 camera angles. And they're recording pretty much, it seems, 24/7. And then they have to edit that down to a watchable format, you know, in like a 30 to 60 minute time slot for TV. My mind is blown. Like Survivor, just any of those reality TV shows where they definitely have multiple camera angles going. Obviously, they probably have multiple editors and stuff like that. And I'm doing this as a solo person, but still. Yeah. Are you guys sticking to the fall and spring lands and phasing out of summer lands? Yeah, so the lands, we try to split them 6 months apart so that there's never too little or big of a gap. And we transitioned out of winter land because sometimes the weather messes that up. Like if it snows or we have crappy weather conditions. And in Washington is weird. Like Washington weather is mild except for like 1 week out of every year. And it sucks to plan a LAN and have a snow week or snow day during the LAN where basically it's dangerous for people to travel. So we transitioned it to spring and then the summer LAN to fall, even though this past weekend was the transition point between summer and fall. So it's like late summer, early fall. But yeah, we try to do spring and fall now because there's no really dangerous weather or like any type of weather in those seasons that can make us cancel a LAN, if that makes sense. Do we ever do 3-day weekend LAN stuff? What do you mean by that? Like, start on, like, when there's like a holiday on either the Friday or Monday, like Labor Day weekend or something? We have... Every time we LAN, I feel like everyone says it would be great to extend the LAN another day. So, like, time it during, like, I don't know, 4th of July weekend or time it during Labor Day weekend or something like that. I think that would be really fun, and having an extra day would be awesome because the way that the LAN is set up now, right, is, like, when we LAN, the LAN, like, people arrive midway through Friday. I mean, there's the early crew that's usually like me, Jan, Casey. We go and set up early usually. But the LAN isn't in full swing until like middle of the day to evening on Friday. So that's not a full day of LANing. And then you get the full day Saturday. And then Sunday, people usually leave in the afternoon or early afternoon. So that's only a half day as well. So you get 2 half days and 1 full day. A 3-day weekend would be awesome to have a second full LAN day, and we've talked about it, but we have not implemented it yet just because, you know, a lot of us are like married. Some of us, only one of us so far have kids. But I think committing that much time, I don't think enough people would be on board for it to make it worth it so far. I'll bring it up, but yeah, it basically, there has to be enough people that would warrant to do a 3rd day, and to time it on a holiday weekend where, you know, people might want to plan other stuff with their significant others or families and stuff like that, right? Like, especially like Labor Day wouldn't work because that weekend is PAX weekend, and there's a few of us that go to PAX, so like that weekend's off. Not everyone gets MLK Day off. Not everyone gets Veterans Day off. So we would have to like really plan for that. Veterans Day is coming up, yeah, but not everyone gets Veterans Day off. People who work more retail like jobs, I don't believe it. If you have like a white collar job or like a government or school job, you get Veterans Day off, but not everyone gets that. So yeah, and MLK weekend is when you come to Texas, so keep that free. You know what's funny? That MLK weekend while you're in school is nice because I don't know of any, like, all throughout school from, you know, K through even college, MLK, you got off. But as soon as I entered the workforce, my career did not have MLK Day off. They did not have Veterans Day off. They had Memorial Day. It was like Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, and then like a big holiday weekend. But yeah, I do not get Veterans Day off, says Simon. Yeah. And then split, man, if everyone had a 4090 setup, would your electricity handle it? If everyone had a 4090 setup, it would. Even with the 4090 system, you can still fit, because it's 1800, right? For a 15 amp, let me see, 15 amp breaker max watts. So I think it's 15 amp breaker, oh no, it's 1440. I think even with the 4090 setup, ooh, if the system pulls over 500, that would be the issue. So if you can fit 3 person per circuit, then it would be, you can handle it in a single household. You would just have to have a lot of extension cords. But if everyone had a 4090 setup and you're pulling over 500, like a decent amount over, you could only fit 2 person per circuit. So that would mean, like, with a group of like 12 or 14, you would need 6 or 7 separate circuits, and that would make it pretty difficult. But for us, we fit everything. Like, everybody here was on, we fit on 3 circuits. So the first circuit consisted of Martin, Jan, me, and Casey. So we were all on my UPS, my backup battery. And then it was Tara, James, Jillian, and Danny. They were on a circuit that was on this wall right here, that was separate from the one that we were on. And then the rest of the group, David, Jesse, and Nick, were on the circuit outlet right behind this wall. So we didn't have to run extension cords. Everything fit within this room. But yeah, when we have more people than this, usually that's something you have to worry about. Which PC content creator are you closest to? Probably Jason Whitmer, who's in chat right now. Jason Whitmer, and then after him, I would say like Oz Talks Hardware, Tech by Matt, Scattervolt, those guys, like the Tech Fam group, Zach's Tech Turf and all of them. But in terms of like close, probably Jason, because we actually are, I'm in his Discord server that he has with his close group of friends, and he actually just recently joined my group of my Discord server, not my Discord server, my friends group. We have a Discord server for our LAN friends, and he recently joined that one. So, yeah. Oh, here's the LAN crew battles that, yeah, I was just talking about the Discord server, but, extension cords cause efficiency loss. Example, plug a space heater into it and the space heater would trip the breaker every time. I've never actually had that issue happen, especially since we have used, so with the extension cords, we definitely are mindful of the gauge of the cord. We only use 10 or 12 AWG, which is, what is 12 AWG? This is something you gotta like be mindful for. Max load 12, 20, yeah, so 12 AWG wire, but then the distance matters too. So the extension cords that we use is definitely rated for supporting up to 3 to 4 computers every single time, and we've never had it trip due to that. And I'm sure running 3 or 4 computers is definitely more powerful than what's it called, than a space heater. Though I don't know if the internals of a space heater specifically would cause it to trip due to, you know, the way it's designed, but yeah. So Jason's coming to next LAN is what I'm hearing. I think it would be pretty awesome. So if anyone from the Texas crew were to come to our LAN, it would either be Jason or another person who actually lives in Washington, who used to be from Texas and is like very close friends with Jason and that group down there in Texas. He lives like maybe 45 minutes away from me. It would either be one of them two coming to the LANs if we had space. In the more recent LANs, we have not had space for extra people. If anything, it would definitely be a LAN at my house because, you know, I'm closer to them than the rest of my group is, so it's not fair to me to say, here's a random stranger that you don't know coming to your house. So it would definitely be a LAN at my house when we have room for the head count. But yeah, I think that would be really fun. Especially because I'm sure they haven't experienced like a big group LAN party dedicated to just landing in years. Like a lot of us we've all LANed at some point in our life, but just with the nature of things, a lot of people aren't able to anymore due to everyone being so separated and split up and stuff like that. So yeah. What graphics card would I say pair with the AMD Ryzen 5800X? Honestly, like how much money do you have? That's the biggest question. A lot of people are like, what could you pair with that? I'm like, oh, you could probably take a 4070 Super, you know, go up that far with it and be fine. And then they're like, I only have $300 to spend. Like, it's hard to answer this question without a budget. Set up a way for me to pull. Oh my god. Like, I don't think there's no footage of it, but oh, actually, let me show you the parking situation, because you've probably seen it before in the past, but let me see. Do I have one with all the cars loaded? Yeah, so this is when the last of the group showed up and they parked on the outside of the street, but you probably can't really see it. But so my driveway is only meant to fit 2 cars, but for the LANs we put 3 cars in it, and basically the doors can't open all the way. But we got these, and then we have the cars running all the way down till off of the screen once Danny reparks over there. And this was with the small group. Remember, we were missing 4 people this time around, which would equate to about 2 more cars. Because some of them carpool, but some of them come individually. So we actually had our HOA meeting last week, and they were talking about being mindful about street parking and stuff like that. Because even though street parking is open, like having the cars like this, or having a lot of cars on the street all the time, makes our nice and wide roads very narrow to get through. If everybody, you know, parked their cars on the streets instead of in their garage and driveways. So I don't think there's a way we could get a food truck posted up there, unfortunately. My budget is $300. $300, you are looking at 3070 Ti, possibly 6800. So yeah, you're looking at like, you can easily, for $300, you can easily get a 6700 XT, 6750 XT. Those usually go for like $250. RTX 3070s are usually around $250 to $275. It depends if you look on eBay or your local market. But so you're looking in that range, right? If you're lucky, you might be able to push a 3070 Ti. Let me take a look real quick, because now that we've talked enough about LAN, we can still talk about LAN, but I also want to talk about other things as well. And if people have tech questions, I definitely want to answer them. My used price, I'm decent with them, but so let's see what we're looking at. Pre-owned 3070 Ti. Okay, yeah, for $300 you can definitely get a 3070 Ti. After shipping, and it's like right at that. Remember not to get parts only. Make sure to get one that doesn't say parts only, so it's not broken. But yeah, $284 plus this, that's $297 plus tax. So you should definitely be able to, I shouldn't say definitely, because some people's local markets suck. But for $300, you are looking at 3070. It should be less than $300 if you're getting 3070. Right up to $300 should be 3070 Ti territory. Let's look at what our 6800 is looking like. The AMD cards are a little bit more different because they're not as popular, so their stock is parts only. Pre-owned, $300 for a 6800 plus shipping though, brings it up to $315. So yeah, 6800s are a little bit more pricey. You would want to go down to 6700 XT or 750 rather, and that would be right in your price point. Wow, did all these start? Why did these go up? Wait up, are the price? See, this is what happens if we don't look at graphics cards pricing every single week, because they can change. Really, 6750 used is about 300. They were down to like 270 brand new. Now this, granted, this was months ago, but yeah, see, you can buy that for brand new for almost the same price. So that doesn't make sense to me. It looks like all the prices have kind of gone up, and this is what happens when stock gets low, and they phase out. If both companies are preparing to launch their next series of graphics cards, that makes these 2 generations old, and you're going to start to run into supply issues. Kind of like what's going on with the 5800 X3D right now, and 7800 X3D. Because the next generation actually kind of flopped, everyone is rushing to buy those, and there's not enough stock, so the prices go up. But that's what you're kind of want to be looking at. Danny, I'm linking 2 spreadsheets for you tracking. Ooh, eBay prices. Let's take a look at that. Are you putting in stream submissions by chance? Okay. Let me actually pin this. Are there actually 3080s for 300? Last week when we looked, there was the ones that were 300 were scams. That's the only thing. I'm not gonna recommend someone buy something from a brand new account with zero people. Okay, let's see, what's this? Oh, this is legit. Okay, new listing, pre-owned. Okay. Oh, maybe last week the prices were closer to 200 something. New listing. Okay, this is legit. Yeah, so these are legit 3080. Honestly, between those two, even though the VRAM is 10 gigabytes, I don't think 10 gigabyte VRAM is really an issue. You're talking about $300 card here. Especially if you're buying used, you're getting so much more performance out of the card itself. There's more to the card than VRAM, and I think I would, just for the long-term resale value as well, and if you need any of NVIDIA's specific things like their RTX voice and their suite of, like, the streaming software is actually very useful for me, but I know most people aren't streamers. But the noise cancellation I think would be pretty nice if you play online a lot and you have a noisy background. But yeah, so if you're looking at the same price between 3080 and 6800 for about 300, this is free shipping too. I would probably go 3080 personally, because in a year or two when you upgrade and sell it, I'm confident the RTX 3080 is going to hold its value better than the 6800. What's my version of cozy gaming with fall and winter seasons coming up? Honestly, for me, cozy gaming is dropping tons of hours into survival loot and shoot games. Not loot and shoot, sorry. Survival gathering, hunter-gathering games. So like Valheim, Pal World. I want to play Enshrouded, but we are thinking of having what we're calling mini lands, where I'm not going to record them, but it's where in between our major lands, which happens every 6 months, so like right in between it, maybe 3 months after a major land, we have what we call mini lands, where not everybody shows up. It's just the people who kind of want to and are like thirsting to game for a whole weekend, because everyone, a lot of people are busy and stuff like that. But we host these mini lands, likely down in Tacoma, because that's where everybody is. It doesn't make sense to have everyone come up to me for a mini land, because that's just a really far drive. I'm just one person, whereas they're multiple. But we meet up at someone's house, and we just LAN all weekend on one game, though. Because, like, with the major LANs, we play a bunch of different games, but we can't really progress in a lot of these different fun co-op games, right? Like Valheim. We did Valheim one time at LAN, but that took up quite a bit of time, and only a portion of the group played it. So, what the mini lands are made for is, like, games like Pal World, Valheim, Enshrouded, where you have a group of anywhere from like 3 to 6 people who just meet at someone's house and just play like Enshrouded all weekend and make a lot of progress in it. And it's treated similar to a LAN in that you're just gaming and then you order food or cook food, whatever. It's just with a smaller group though. So we're gonna try that out hopefully this coming December/January. And I want to play Enshrouded, but we'll vote on whatever the game is. But for me, that's what cozy gaming is. Like, just getting lost in a game literally for like a day or two without interruption of real life. And I enjoy doing that because any other game than those types of games, you're only really playing for sessions of like an hour or two, maybe 3 at a time. And then you shut off, you do whatever your real life asks of you, and then you come back whenever you have a chance. But yeah, for me, cozy gaming is just having long game sessions, playing the same game, and straight up dropping, you know, like 10 hours, 12 hours a day. Which, into a single game, I have not been able to do that. Okay, I lie. I probably did that during WoW Classic 2019. When WoW Classic came out during the weekends when I wasn't working, I was definitely dropping 12 to 14 hours into it. I went no life on that. How's Baldur's Gate? Seen snips of it being played at your LAN parties? So a lot of people... Baldur's Gate is a very popular game. It is a very successful game. I don't know if they won Game of the Year or anything like that, or like major awards. I'm pretty sure they won some awards, but I'm not into turn-based games. Like, if I'm playing a game, single player I think is fine, turn-based games, but when you're doing multiplayer, oh my goodness, turn-based multiplayer, like Baldur's Gate, Civ, when you have a group of people and you have to take time to think each person a turn, I don't have the patience for that, unfortunately. But a lot of people do play Baldur's Gate at our LANs, and I would not want to mini land that. Please, I would never want to mini land that. I want something that's like real-time combat. Like, no turn-based, please. There is a mod for Baldur's Gate 3 to make it live attacks. Are any of y'all aware of that? Anyone who plays Baldur's Gate a lot, have any of you tried that? I'm the same way, lol. I want to get into Baldur's Gate 3 so bad, but I hate turn-based games. Honest, and again, I think I'd be more okay with turn-based game single player because it's only you who are holding up the battle. Like, it's your decision, and you're making the decision, so you're constantly, like, actively doing something, even though you're not participating in the combat because you're choosing what you want to do. But when you have to wait for 5 other people to do that before it's your turn again, oh, I can't. I've only seen a video on the live action Baldur's Gate. Plan on giving it a go. Okay. I need to actually bring this up to the LAN group because I'm not sure if they're aware of it. But that actually might make it better. How could you make it... When you say live combat, it's still gotta be like... planned combat. There's just no pausing. It just happens. But... Because like you can't change the whole game design and mechanics to make it live. As in like when I guess the combat in Baldur's Gate is like an auto attack versus using a spell versus different attacks per button, like for a game like I don't know, Wukong or something. I think they had a third person for what now? It's still top-down from what I saw. Okay, so then it would be more like Diablo, right? Where it's an isometric view, top-down-ish view. But you're able to activate your spells on command instead of waiting turns. So... you just go for attacks. Okay, give me a second. Oh... okay, so we do bring up Tim during the LAN, but... did I not talk about this during the previous streams? So, unfortunately, Tim passed away. He actually passed away earlier this year. For those of you who don't know, Tim is the neighborhood cat that me and Melissa grew really close to, actually. He stopped by every single day, and we would pet him and play with him and stuff like that. He was, like, the nicest, coolest cat, too. And he was in the previous LAN party that was at my house. And, all of a sudden, he stopped showing up at our house. And I did have his owner's phone number because he had a caller that had their number on it. So I had texted them in the past when I thought he was a lost cat early on when I met him. So I had their number in my phone and I texted them and they're like, oh no, we live, you know, right on the other side of you guys in the opposite neighborhood. So then when we didn't see Tim for the longest time, we were getting worried, but we're just thinking, oh, maybe he got in trouble and his you know, his owners grounded him and didn't let him out. Because honestly, it's kind of dangerous for cats to be let outside. Like, they could catch a number of whatever diseases from wild animals and get fleas. They could get hit by cars. They could get hit by or get, you know, eaten by wild animals or just whatever. So it's pretty dangerous to let your pets, like, off leash, or I guess cats. People don't really do that with dogs, I feel. But with cats, you know, outdoor cats, I feel are very dangerous. But he was an older cat, though. So he passed away kind of like of natural causes of being old and just getting sick. So unfortunately, he was not a part of this stream. But I am planning on doing a tribute portion of the stream to Tim. And we did toast to him during our toast before, you know, we officially kicked off LAN. So yeah, it sucks because like I loved that cat. He was so awesome. Jason, when he came to visit in Washington, Jason even met Tim and was able to pick him up and stuff. He was such a chill cat. So yeah, having outdoor cats is pretty dumb in my opinion, but I did appreciate the time that we had with Tim in our neighborhood. So yeah, unfortunately, Tim is not here anymore. Though we do get some cat footage when we go to James's and Jan's house because they both have 2 cats. And we can't get a cat at my house, unfortunately, because Melissa is super allergic. Like, yeah, I think her allergies have gotten worse. Even with taking medication and allergy meds and stuff like that, it's not a good time for her. So, and I'm not really a fan of hypoallergenic cats. Like, if I want a cat, I want it to be like a specific kind that I find to be very cute and like my cat, you know? And I've not seen a hypoallergenic cat where I'm like, I want that to be my cat. So, yeah. The only cats I see now are from visitation or babysitting. Danny, what do you think of a 6900 XT would work with 700 watts, 80 plus gold? Yeah, 700 watts should be enough for a 6900 XT. As long as you don't have like some crazy super powerful CPU paired with it. But 80 plus gold doesn't mean anything. You need to have an actual like good power supply. Something probably from the tier list that's, I would say C and above. If you're a C or above on the PSU tier list, your rated wattage is actually what you say it is, and it's safe enough not to like burn down your house. So yeah, just make sure it's something from there. Don't just get some cheap $40 700 watt power supply that's, you know, questionable. Yeah, get a hairless cat. Well, let's see what those look like because I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that. Hypoallergenic cat. Hypoallergenic cat. No, hairless cats are not hypoallergenic. They probably help though. Allergens from skin, saliva, and urine. That makes sense. Yeah, I would imagine that you don't only get allergies from the dander of a cat. But let's see what these look like. Yeah. Okay, I can't do this. I cannot do these cats. Like, I'm sure, I think the wrinkles, yeah, the wrinkles are a bit too much. Look at that. Look at the forehead wrinkles. Is there a better picture? Oh, some of these are cute though. Some of these seem, oh, look, but that wrinkle. This is where I imagine when people say get a hairless or hypoallergenic cat for the most part. But it seems like there's other ones too that, oh man, some of these are cute. What? A Balinese? Wait, is this a list of hypoallergenics? So wait, seriously? Cat fur is not the problem. The culprit is actually tiny proteins found in their saliva, urine, and dander. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, somebody... Oh. But the shedding on this. Oh my goodness. Gotta get caught up on chat. Yorkies are hypoallergenic. I'm not a dog person though. I used to be one, and now I've swapped. Oh, what up, Shauner? Yes, Brett is doing his live stream. He's doing it on both YouTube and... Oh, I'm not signed in. I'm gonna sign in on my personal account. But yes, for those of you who don't know, Brett.
2.
Oh, Zach's over there too. Let me pop in real quick.
Yeah, you're right. That's me.
Miss the Max Verstappen.
So there's, is it, Shauner, is this, I didn't see, because I didn't see on his Twitter or anywhere posted. Is this the equivalent of the Cannonball this year? Or is he still doing the Cannonball?
We hear the Max Verstappen.
More, yes, there are more giveaways on Twitch. So if you guys are in for the giveaways, make sure to go over on the Twitch side of things and watch and get your points and stuff like that. But yes, Jason has many cats. We can go pet all of his cats. He has, how many cats do you have now, Jason? He's not doing Cannonball, so they're doing goofy stuff just at the UFD studio. Okay, that's what I was thinking, because this is, he's doing like a 6-day stream or 7-day stream, right? So doing Cannonball on top of that would be crazy. Yeah, so you guys, let me actually post to like opening a new tab or something and go say hi and say Danny said to say hi. Yeah, it's like a multi-day stream. I wonder how much he's been able to raise. Let's see what he's at right now. Let me see. Oh, I went to his vertical stream. No, I clicked on the wrong one. He's at... So he's getting close to... he's going for, it looks like 50K. So he's at 21,000 right now. Yeah, the counter's on the stream, but I pulled up the wrong one. Let me go to live. Not the short stream. Yeah. Make sure to stop by, say hi, especially when my stream ends. Now, I feel bad now that I'm streaming at the same time as his charity stream. But what can I do? It's like, there's only so many streaming spots, and if he's doing it for a whole week, 24/7 without a break, I wonder is Zach gonna stream separately this week from him at all? And overlap? Yeah, there's nothing you can do about the overlap, unfortunately. Yeah. Zach, okay, Zach isn't streaming tomorrow. Got it. Yeah, Zach and Brett are super close. Not only in location to each other, but they're also close friends and colleagues. So that would make sense. Fracture says, oh my god, I just been watching the stream on the vertical version. Well, were you, if it's so much better, were you watching on your phone or were you watching on like a desktop? If you're watching on your phone, I would feel the vertical might be better. But if you're watching on the desktop, yeah, watching desktop vertical stream would be exactly what I just showed. And that looks kind of weird. Oh yeah, no worries, Shauner. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Always good to see you. Have a good night, dude. I might get the RTX 3070. Yeah, if you take into account tax, like when people say they have $300 to spend, does that mean 300 or 330 if you live in a state like me that has 10% sales tax and you buy on eBay, right? So if you have 300 to spend, that really means you have 270 plus 10% tax brings that up to like 300 or 297 if you want to be really technical with it. But Hogue says, I have a question. I have a 2700X and a dedicated streaming PC. I also got a 5600X laying around. Okay. For 1440p streaming, should I switch to 5600X or keep... If you have a 5600X laying around, yes, definitely upgrade that. That's a big performance increase. And if you're just streaming, I don't think you're going to use all the cores of the 2700X versus the more powerful but less cores and threads in a 5600X. I would go to 5600X. Yo, what's up, Carlos? Bro, I got an i5 9400F and a GTX 1050 Ti. Is it good? I would say this is a very entry-level PC that, like, pretty much good for only esports and older games. Like, you can play a lot of games from, like, probably, like, 4 or 5 years ago on this decently well. But if you're going to struggle to play AAA titles that are coming out, like, now-ish. You know, you're talking about a 1050 Ti, which by this point is around 7-8 years old, right? And a 9400F. Well, for gaming, the 9400F, it's not bad, but you're going to be held back by your 1050 Ti. So, I mean, it's just an older system. You can play LoL, Valorant, Rocket League, a bunch of esports just fine, but, yeah. 4 gigabytes, I mean, it's limiting, but then it's not limiting, right? Like, we could go right now. What's the most difficult modern game you think is to run right now? Let's see, 4 gigabyte RX 580 versus, and we're gonna look at the RX 580 versus that Black Myth. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so Worms Gaming did it with the 8 gigabyte version. That's not what we want. We want the 4 gigabyte specifically. 10 GPUs. Oh, here we go. Wait, is the 2048 SP? Let me see their monitoring program. VRAM. Where is the VRAM? Oh, this is an 8 gig version. 4 gigabyte versus... Is there another game? Because I don't think many people have... this one might have it. Let me see. Video memory. Oh, here we go. So this is one with the RX 580 4 gig. Because as you can see, the VRAM's capped out under 4. Okay, so this is low settings. But then once you turn on FSR, I think it improves it pretty nicely. Now, this, I would say this isn't an issue of the 4 gigabytes of VRAM as much as it is the RX 580's age. I wish there was a better way to show, like, what's the most modern graphics card with only 4 gigabytes of VRAM that has, like, more IPC and a stronger core, but still limited to 4 gigabytes. Low settings, and with frame generation... So here's what so this is it with the kitchen sink thrown at it, right? We're talking low settings, FSR, and frame generation. Now, we're talking about a 2024 AAA game that isn't the most optimized, right? This is coming from a relatively newish game studio, I guess you could say. Even though I think everyone in the game studio worked previously at other, worked elsewhere. So there's probably veterans on their team. But you're talking about a game that just released this year, is difficult to run even on modern hardware. And you're comparing it to, what year did the RX 580? Actually, you gotta look at the RX 480, because the 580 was pretty much a refresh. So you're looking at an 8-year-old graphics card with 4 gigabytes of VRAM, even though you're using technologies like frame generation and FSR, you're able to play the game at least at, you know, decent, what, average is 60 FPS, 66 FPS. Yeah, see, the 6GB 3050 is kind of hard because that 2GB of VRAM could make a difference for the games that struggle with it. But what I'm trying to say is, here's medium settings, which is lower, but you're talking about an 8-year-old graphics card here. You know how much computer tech has advanced since 2016? It's almost amazing that you can even play a AAA title with this good of, you know, at max settings, good of graphics. It's amazing that you can even play with it and get through the story and stuff like that. Do $70 is good price for Sapphire RX 580 8GB used? No. A used 8GB, I would say like $50 is what you should aim for. Let me look on eBay real quick. Because the price is so low on this, even when you change 10 or $20, which doesn't seem like a lot of money, it does make a pretty big difference when you're on a super low budget. But I could have sworn we could have bought those for much cheaper. So for a working one, right? Parts only, Jesus, there's so many broken parts only ones. Pre-owned 70, parts only. Ugh. So all the 8GB ones. This is a 2040. Can you buy a 480 for that price? I would aim for like $60 at max. This isn't even just me being lucky in my local area. I have seen them going on hardware swap and stuff like that for cheaper. Like here's the 480 8GB, which is not that much slower, for $50 or best offer plus 15 shipping. What's the cheapest one we can get? I would just go for an 8GB 480. Look at this, 43 versus 70. That's a big price difference. So what's the lowest price working one? This person, the product rating is bad. This is a 4GB one, 4GB, 4GB. This is 8GB. So the cheapest one is about $60 right here with after shipping with no fans. Ugh, you're killing me. Here's one for like $62. That's 4 gigs. So here's 50, but then you gotta pay for shipping. I would look in your local area or hardware swap. You should be able to snag one for like $60 out the door. Yeah, the RX 580, that's the issue. The RX 580 is a legendary card that still stays relevant because no company out there is releasing any new graphics card for even remotely close to $100 or even $150. No company is even releasing anything close to $200. The last time they did that, they got a bunch of flack. What was the MSRP for the 3050 and the 6500 XT? Yeah, so $200 last time was the 6500 XT, but when you put it in like PCIe Gen 3, it performed worse than like a RX 580 8GB, right? So like, how are you gonna sell something at $200 that in some situations performed worse than a used $60 8GB 580? And then what was the RTX 3050 MSRP again? I forgot. $250. So yeah, those cards were $200 and $250. And I don't know, man. Honestly, if they refreshed and released an equivalent, both NVIDIA, AMD, and even Intel. I guess Intel has been releasing stuff. They're, like the A580, is it? Some of those cards are more affordable. Like, A580 is $180. I wouldn't go down to a A380, which is, what, $100 right now? I've actually never played with a A380. But an A580... At this point, you're close enough to $200. You can almost get an A750, so why bother with this, right? But if all the companies release something that was like $150, even if it's a refresh of something that already exists, so for $150, you're looking at the ballpark range of, in the used market, they have to compete with the performance of what people can buy kind of in the used market, right? So if they release something that was the equivalent of like a 3050, call it the, I don't know, the 40, you can't call it a 5050 because having a 5050 the same performance as a 3050 just doesn't work. But even if they release a 5040 and AMD released a 7400 for their next gen of cards, or not 7400 but 8400, and it performed at the level of a 3050 for, at this point, $150, I think it would be a popular card. You know, the reviewers are gonna slam them saying, you could buy a used card for that, you could buy a 3050 used for cheaper than this, which is the equivalent. But there's so many people out there who buy only brand new stuff, so the used market doesn't even pertain to them. And just having anything that is remotely that you can remotely game on under $200, I think there's a huge market for that, but probably not as good margins. Yeah, the 6500 XT was so bad it was a joke. Yeah. Thoughts on the RX 5500 XT? I mean, that's a card that I feel is almost niche at this point. Like, what is the used market going for 5500 XT? I don't remember what the performance level is, but if you want to buy it pre-owned, you're looking at around 70 plus 10 is $80 before tax. 80-ish dollars. Let's see. Tom's GPU hierarchy. All right, what are we looking at? We only care about like 1080p medium. Yeah, 5600 XT is pretty good for the price. But what I'm saying is, some people don't want to buy used cards, and that's fine. They need to come out with an equivalently priced card, brand new, and sell it for about as much as a 5600 XT sells for. Maybe like $10-20 more than the used price of a 5600 XT. Give people options to buy low-end hardware brand new is what I'm saying. People shouldn't have to only resort to the used market because there's no warranty. They're out of like, you know, $100 or so if it ends up dying for whatever reason and no warranty. That is not a good way to welcome people into entry-level PC gaming. If their first PC they build because everyone recommended them to use to buy a used card and then it ends up dying and they don't have a warranty or a way to get their money back, like, that's not how you get more people to join our hobby. But a 5500 XT, we're looking at performance levels of between a 1650 Super and a 1660. You're looking at GTX 1070 levels. Okay, so it's about equivalent, right? You can buy 1070s for about 70 to 80 bucks on eBay. So it's whether or not you want an AMD or an NVIDIA card. Though I would probably lean towards the newer 5500 XT. The 1070 is also about 8 years old by this point. That's what the GT 1030 was supposed to be, but that was just way too... what was the GT 1030 MSRP? MSRP... $80. See, I think that's a little too cheap. When you release a card that's $80 brand new, that's definitely targeted towards only like esports games without a chance to even play any new ones. I think $150 is a nice like sweet spot for pricing. It's not too expensive, and I think you can achieve a decent amount of 1080p medium gaming with something that's valued at about $150. I tried building that $500 build, but went like $300 overboard, lol. Wait up. Is it because you decided to upgrade parts, or did you get the exact same parts that I did, or equivalent, and then you spent $300 over because you did not deal hunt or buy from AliExpress? Because I feel like the $500 build that I did recently is very achievable. I left so much flexibility in there because I spent money on aesthetics. I feel like with AliExpress at your disposal, you should be able to build the same CPU GPU combo for at most $550. Thoughts on the 5700 XT? Very good card. 5700 XT is I mean, performance-wise, it's pretty close to a 3060, right? Let's look at 1440p. 5700 XT. Yep, right here. So you look at this, it's very similar to like a 6600 XT and a 3060 and an RTX 2070. So they're all pretty close. And you can buy them for what, 140? I think the price on them actually went up. The 5700 XT, once people realized how powerful they are and how relevant they still are, the cheapest one I can find is, yep, right here, 130. Free local pickup. 130 something as well. Yeah, everything else is broken. But 5700 XT, pretty solid card. The issue is, I feel like in my local area, I've found 6600s for around the same price. Yeah, so let's see what 6600 XTs go for. Yeah, 6600 XTs, you get better ray tracing, or you get ray tracing, and then it's not even that much more, and you get a generation newer card. $3080 for 325, I think is a great price. I think it's a really good price because if you're comparing the performance of a 3080 to a brand new card you could get for 300 bucks, look how low you have to go. Like 3080, even the 10 gigabyte version up here, you're talking about for 325, obviously it's used, so that's why it's cheap. But you're comparing it to cards that are brand new around 300, 325, like a 7600 XT. Look at the performance difference. Look how low you go. Look how far you go down on this chart. Same with the 4060 and 4060 Ti. Look how much higher the 3080 is for the same price used as these brand new cards. Now, obviously, again, there are risks with buying brand new. If the card ends up dying outside of your return window from eBay or PayPal or whatever, you're stuck with a $325 glorified brick. So 7700 XT. Is it down to 350? I have not been watching the prices of that. Those dropped at what, 450? Or are you talking about used? Because they're still 400 brand new, it looks like. Yeah, I don't think they're 350 brand new. No way. It's gotta be used, right? And we always use eBay for our price references. Buy it now, lowest price. Yeah, there's not even any on eBay for 350. They're definitely floating around 400s for what I'm seeing. It was 350 new. When? Was this a price mistake? Let me look on do you know which model? We could look at Amazon because they have the I have the app or the plugin. Oh no, here it is. Yeah, the fighter. Oh, of course it's the fighter. Of course it's a fighter. Okay. Okay, so performance-wise, 3080 at this point, yeah, I would just buy a brand new 7700 XT, even though it's a little bit behind the 3080. Because of the new factor, because of the warranty, I think it's worth spending the extra 25 bucks to get, even though overall performance is less. I think it's just worth it to buy new at that point. 2 free games too. Space Marines is great. What new games do you get with it? Let's see. Show me the games. Where did you see that, Jason? It says get 2 free games. I hate the 7700 XT, and even I would do that. Why do you hate the 7700 XT? As a card, it's whatever. The pricing when it was released, yeah, it made no sense. Being only $50 cheaper than the 7800 XT. But now when you get down to a price of like $350 versus what's the 7800 XT? Is there a bigger gap? I don't think that would have taken that big of a price drop. What's the cheapest one we can find? $470? Yeah. So now what we're seeing is the 7700 XT is priced accordingly. It should have released at $400, if not like $375 or something, because this released at $500. Oh, we got a super chat. KYI. Let me get to that in a second. But yeah, so the 7800 XT released at 500, and from what I can see, unless there was like a good sale, Prime Days or something that brought it down to like 450 or less, there's none on here that are going less than 470. So now you have a price gap that's more appropriate, right? It's not an obvious choice between the 7700 XT versus 7800 XT to just go for the 7800. This makes sense. So I don't think there's a reason to hate the card. There's a reason to hate the price. Okay, KYI. I'm guessing it's key, but key. Quick question. First of all, who is Ryan? Is a 78900 XT with Ryzen 7900X good for streaming and gaming? I mean, yeah. This is a top tier. You could get by with streaming and gaming at 1440p for much less specs than this. The specs you have here is just like pretty much a top-end system that you don't even need a question. You don't even need to get a Ryzen 9. You can stream on a Ryzen 7. Yeah, what's the price difference between 7900 GRE versus the XT? Actually, RX 7900. Hopefully they all just pop up. GREs are 550. The XT is going for closer to... That's the XTX. 700. Yeah, they're closer to 700. The GRE would be the value play, but I don't know if this person is going for specifically. I mean, they've chosen a top-end graphics card, or near top-end, as well as a Ryzen 9. I don't think they're going for the value dollar price per dollar or dollar per FPS play, and they might just be going for the absolute or close to the absolute best performance. Wait for the 7800 X3D to be back. See, that's the issue. I kind of don't like telling people to wait when you have no... Like, when they come back, how sure are we that, one, they're going to stay in stock, or two, AMD is not going to adjust the price? We know that there's much unusually high demand because of the AMD's recent flop. There's higher demand for the X3D chips, even AM4, AM5 X3D chips, flying off the shelves, out of stock. Third-party sellers are selling them for, like, basically scalped prices, right? I don't know if telling someone to wait, and the next time it comes back in stock, it instantly sells out, and then they have to wait again when they need a computer right now. So it's just a kind of crappy situation. I'm so glad I bought my 7800 X3D when I did, because it would suck to be in this situation. Black Friday's around the corner. That is true, though I don't know how big of discounts we ever see on CPUs and graphics cards. At max, what? 10, 20 bucks? There is that sometimes occasion where like one graphics card, like, I don't know, it'll be a random one, like a 7600 XT is 50 bucks off for like a really good price. But across the board, graphics cards and CPUs never see a huge discount. Black Friday is pretty close. We are like 2 months away from it. Because it's the end of November, right? We're at the end of September now. So if you already have a working PC and you're looking to upgrade or building a new one, just use your PC right now. But if you don't have a PC and you've already been dying for how long waiting to build one, and people say wait, like some people are probably looking to build a PC right now that people told them to wait like 3, 4, half a year ago. Like, they've waited. It's like, some people just want to get their PC built. So I understand that. So, while being patient will likely save you money, sometimes it's worth paying the extra $100 overall or something to get your PC 6 months in advance. Like, I don't know how much savings you're going to get. Especially if you're building like mid-range. Maybe the high-end stuff, you'll get bigger discounts to get you bigger savings. But how much is a $300 graphics card and a $200 CPU really gonna go on sale, right? You gotta consider all these things, so. Micro Center definitely does have decent bundle deals year-round, actually. So if you have a Micro Center nearby, you almost don't really have to wait. Sure, they'll have good deals and doorbusters during the holidays, but I feel like Micro Center, even year-round, you can usually find stuff there and feel good walking away from it that you did not overspend. I have a 3060 GPU and a Ryzen 7 5800X. Should I upgrade yet? Yeah, if you're ready for better graphics. Replace that 3060 with something hopefully at least a couple of tiers higher. Like, to me, a 3070 from a 3060 is not really worth it. Sure, it's an improved in performance, and you get, like, way better 1440p performance, but at that point, like, what? A 3070 is, like, 250-ish right now, and a 3080, if you can get it for 325, I would just get the 3080. Or a 7700 XT, as we just saw. Like, just jumping up one tier is not worth it. So, yeah, you could definitely use a much more powerful graphics card with your 5800X. What happened to SK Hynix? Haven't heard or seen anything from them in a while now. They're still releasing stuff. They have, like, modern parts that they're still releasing. Yeah, SK Hynix, one of the major manufacturers of memory, as well as they still produce SSDs and things like that. They're still around. You just don't hear about them much because, I mean, I feel like, do you hear, like, Samsung, what do you hear about Samsung for? SSDs and what, monitors? But yeah, the thing with SK Hynix is they don't even have monitors. So they're just like storage and memory. And that's not like an exciting topic that like tech news outlets and YouTubers and stuff talk about much. It's not as exciting as pretty much everything else going on in PC hardware. Yeah, Samsung has their phones too. SK Hynix does, like, they do memory and storage very well, but beyond that, I'm sure they have other things going on too if you looked up their company portfolio. But with relation to us PC gamers, right, we know them for memory and storage. I won't be upgrading anytime soon. I'm on a 5800 X3D plus 4080. Very solid combo. I do not regret just spending the extra. I do regret not spending the extra on the 4090, but the 4080 is still quite a beast. Well, I mean, you're talking about like a different class of card with the 4090 between that and the 4080, right? I understand regret if you like bought a 7700 XT for 450 instead of the $500 58 or 7800 XT. Because that's only $50 in the grand scheme of things. But when you're talking about the $1,200 versus not really $1,600, it was more like $1,700, $1,800, $1,900 because they're so in demand that you couldn't even buy it for MSRP. Then that's like a multi-$100 level difference in price. I think unless you're like rich and money doesn't matter, making a financial decision like that, getting the weaker card, but saving up to $400 or $500, I don't think you should feel regret at all. Unless you are rich and you did that, and when you could easily afford it, but yeah. I did not hear about any rating of of SK Hynix at all. Hopefully that's not huge drama. I mean, they were finding me as a company. Oh, I did want to talk about one thing that's not PC tech related, but have you guys heard of the MKBHD drama? We're going back to the drama segment, or the news segment. Forbes, please don't make me read. Actually, is that the best article that we can find for this? I'm gonna take drama. Panels. MKBHD, The Verge. You know what's funny? The Verge gets so much crap for like the Verge PC build that they did many years ago. I mean, how many years ago is it by this point? Like 6 or 7 years? Everyone memed on The Verge for that. But with regards to like just general tech news and stuff, I don't mind their articles. Like, they're fine. Like, especially when they cover stuff like this that relates to tech and phones and stuff like that. But yeah, so MKBHD, if y'all didn't know, in his recent video covering the iPhone 16, the newest iPhone coming out, he promoted his own app called Panels, which have any of you checked it out? Is it only like an iPhone thing? I cannot find it in the Google Play Store. I would imagine he would release it for both iOS and Android because he covers Android phones. He has a lot of Android phone using viewers, but I could not find it, so it might be either iOS only or he pulled it from the store. But essentially what it is, it's an app where all the wallpapers that you see on the desktop in his background on like the Macs or whatever system he has back there, all the backgrounds that are shown on the phones when he's like reviewing a phone, he does get a lot of people asking questions like, where do you get those wallpapers? A while ago he used to use those fractal like animal designs and stuff like that, but a lot of people are interested in the wallpapers he uses. So he released an app that basically he's been using all the wallpapers that came from this app that, you know, he created essentially for people to get wallpapers. Now, his app is not the only app that has a subscription or / paid model. If you look up wallpaper apps in the App Store, you will see other apps that exist already that actually have good reviews, whatever, people use it. People pay for wallpaper, essentially. Now, the backlash he's getting is because one of his famous quotes that he has said is, did they show it here? The Forbes article. And this is back from like 2016 or something. But one of his things that he said, here it is. No, 2016. Golden rule number 1 of the internet. Never try to charge for something that was already free. And Marquez has actually, in his reviews, criticized companies for doing things like this before. Especially with a lot of the AI stuff coming out and the new tech that comes with some subscription plan. He has criticized them for having some kind of payment plan. Like, nobody wants that. So, him releasing an app, you know, where you can get wallpapers pretty much on any, like, corner of the internet for free and not pay for it. So, him releasing this app, people are giving him tons of backlash for it. I understand the criticism, but as you guys know, I'm an MKBHD fan, but I don't think he's barred from, like, criticism, right? Like, I agree. That is so hypocritical of him to say in the past, you shouldn't ever make people pay for something that has been free for, you know, since the beginning of time, wallpapers and backgrounds. So I definitely understand the backlash there. I think that there is a way to make maybe not a subscription, but a one-time paid thing. The thing is, not all the money is going to go to him and his company. They are doing revenue share, revenue split with the artists. I think it's 50-50 right now from what I read. I think if he did like an 80-20 split where the artists get 80% of it, I think that should address the criticism against him being greedy, right? I mean, running the app and like developing it and making it and improving it and stuff like that, I think they should get some of the cut for that. But I think a 50-50 split, that's kind of a lot to take. I mean, that's actually what YouTube takes from YouTubers. It's like a 50-50 split. Every time you guys like super chat and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think the backlash for him that people are giving him is way worse. Like he is making like headlines on pretty much like, you know, Forbes, not just The Verge, but like a lot of different backlash, a lot of like big news outlets, and pretty much all the content creators are covering him. Like if you follow tech news channels and stuff like that, and Twitter and stuff like that, it's blown up. I think kind of out of proportion. I don't mind watching ads to get a wallpaper free. At least it's an option. Yeah. So the way it works too is, I think a lot of people are understanding is that because look at the way these articles are written. Marcus Brownlee says, okay, so he has addressed the fact that he's heard the criticism and he's going to improve it, which I think is pretty big, right? Like, there's one thing to release a crappy thing and then be silent about it. It's another to release it, get the criticism, and then make adjustments based on that criticism. What I hate about when that happens is he's going to make the changes. Maybe he's going to make it like free, or he's going to lower the subscription. He's going to change the rev share. He could improve this app and make it a really good app, like across the board. And he's still going to get criticism of people saying he only did that because he got criticized. Like, what do you expect somebody to do when they messed up, they got the backlash, and they improve? So, to some people, that is not enough. Because that person messed up in the first place, they are blacklisted, they're over party, let's cancel them. Like, bro, I don't know, man. The internet has gotten so much worse. People feed off of drama and stuff like that. And I always felt like MKBHD was like kind of like the golden standard for a tech content creator. He did mess up with this Panels app. I don't think as badly as most people are portraying it, but I do agree that he did mess up with the way that he did the subscription model and the rev share and stuff like that. I think the app itself could be valuable. Like, I think high quality wallpapers, unique, made by artists, I think artists should get paid. And there's not many ways for artists to get paid when you're just downloading free wallpapers off the internet. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just go download the wallpapers for free. That's another thing. No one's forcing you at gunpoint to download this app. And then once you download the app, no one's forcing you to pay the subscription. You can get it for free by watching ads. It has to be sustained somehow. Even for me, as like a super cheap person who wants everything to be free, I understand that people have to get paid. The world doesn't go around unless people are getting paid for stuff. If all the games were pirated and free, if all the software was free, if, you know, all the apps and music and everything was free, if watching YouTube was completely free with no ads, none of this would exist. Like, if people have gotten so used to, I guess, not getting or not having to pay for things or not having to watch ads, that they kind of expect that for the rest of time. But that's honestly not sustainable. I mean, isn't YouTube operating off of like losses since the beginning of time? I was reading somewhere they were saying basically YouTube is only exists as a platform for people to upload and share videos on, and doesn't necessarily operate as a profit or like for profit. Like, it has just become the default thing to watch videos and share videos. And because of that reason, it won't fail, even if they are in the negatives and in the red. Like, they could be losing money year after year, but it cannot fail because there is no replacement for YouTube. People aren't going to be watching videos on Vimeo or Dailymotion or whatever the heck other, you know, video uploading platforms are. People love drama or talk the same stuff over and okay, so you know what's funny? So there's a Gamers Nexus. So Gamers Nexus, if you guys have you seen their like hardware news? The recent one, they address the problem with YouTube right now, and that is it's kind of a circular thing. Right now, if you're on YouTube, you can get way more views if you post something that has drama in the thumbnail or title. And that in turn causes the viewers to get up in arms, raise their pitchforks, and get mad. And then they only click that type of content. Then that means the content creator now has to keep on making that content, otherwise they don't get the same views. And Gamers Nexus they explicitly said that in their recent hardware news, which I'll play.
Review, things like that. And actually in this past week, if you haven't seen it, we posted 3 very positive reviews about cases. If you want some of that coverage, go check it out. I keep bringing this up because the positive videos, unfortunately, the way that both just kind of human behavior is, but also the way social media works, a lot of people don't really notice or click on the positive ones, and it doesn't stop us from making them, but we would like people to know about the good products and not only the ones that suck. So anyway, check them out if you want to see those, but we also have the trikes video going up if you want to just see the train wreck. Let's get into the news. Before that,
yeah, so I mean, like, even a big channel like them who produces, you know, multiple videos a week and all that stuff, they are even what's it called, realizing the trend of when we release review videos where we say that the case is good and stuff, less people watch it. But when it's a video where we're slamming the case, people click on it. So, I don't know. It kind of sucks because I've noticed that too. Like when I reviewed the latest gen of graphics cards, it was the 4060 and 4060 Ti. Both of them I had lukewarm reviews on. I forgot which one it was, but one of them I said it was like disappointing, and the other one I wasn't as negative. And there was a clear difference, even though my end message was very similar with both reviews. Like, this card, unless you really need like AV1 encoding and all that, like ray tracing and stuff like that, it's not good value. But just the thumbnail and title alone caused a like 2 to 3 times view difference between the videos. It kind of sucks to be a content creator who does not feed off of drama, is what I'm saying. People don't pay attention to positive. They pay way too much attention to negativity. Yeah. The back and forth between Starforge Systems and LTT was a great positive cycle, though. You mean LTT or GN? Or both? They both reviewed it, and Starforge improved because of that, right? Alright, see you later, Daniel. I always watch GN at 1.5 speed. Super weird hearing Steve at 1. I'm actually one of those people who I don't watch stuff at multiplied speed multipliers. I watch it at 1 speed. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I think once I start, I will probably become like one of you guys who watch it at 1.25, 1.5, or 2 times. But I haven't started doing that yet, so I'm still okay with 1 speed. And I totally understand why you guys do it. There's too much content to consume out there. Like, how can you watch a single 10-minute video from one content creator? Watching 6 of those from different creators, it takes up your whole hour. There's literally hundreds of people you're probably subscribed to dropping multiple videos throughout the week. Like, there's not enough time to watch everything. So, of course, you have to, like, speed it up. But, yeah. 1.75 because I got 200 videos on my watch list, says JG Wright. Dang. Like, let's see what Steve sounds like at 1.75.
I keep bringing this up because the positive videos, unfortunately, the way that both just kind of human behavior is, but also the way social media works, a lot of people don't really notice or click on the positive ones, and it doesn't stop us from making them, but we would like people to know about the good products and not only the ones that suck. So anyway, check them out if you want to see those, but we also have the trikes video going on.
I think that's too much for me. I think 1.5 would probably be my max, but more preferably 1.25. But yeah, I mean 1.75, you are saving a lot of time. I think Steve sounds best at 1.5. I just missed out on some videos. Yeah, I mean, I miss out on videos all the time. Unless it's something is brought to my attention just from the sub feed in my home screen. Yeah, I miss so much in the tech content space actually. Because I do tech content, it's really like when I'm just leisurely watching stuff or like, you know, putting on something when I'm cooking or eating, I try not to put on more tech stuff. I try to put on like things from the other stuff I like to watch, which these days, what is it? I try to get like watch news aggregators who just cover like world news. Like I watched Philip DeFranco more recently because he just covers a lot of different topics from like YouTube influencer type of stuff to world news, US news and things like that. I watch a lot of boxing related things. Let's see, what I would have to look at my view history. Like what is on my plate? What did I just have playing? Oh, Louis Rossman. I like watch, even though Louis Rossman videos are so long, I like hearing him rant. A lot of people don't like hearing him rant. I like hearing him rant. I don't know why. I still watch Asmongold highlights. I don't know why. It's because Asmongold is like a commentator to stuff going on in the gaming industry. Not the tech space, but more so the gaming industry. His takes, I just find it entertaining when he like either plays games or quote unquote reviews them or gives overviews. Danny, you should do GPU and CPU tier list videos. Mark has been all over the place with that, right? Mark's been doing a ton of tier list stuff. He's doing a motherboard tier list soon. So I guess with CPUs and GPUs, it's probably easy to do a tier list because you just have to know the general performance. I'm very curious how Mark's going to do, because he posted it on Twitter. He's doing like a really extensive motherboard tier list video. I don't understand, unless he like bought all those motherboards and used and tested them, how can you make a tier list video? With graphics cards, it's pretty easy because there's enough data out there, right? You can just, you know, so many people have reviewed it. We know the performance numbers. There's tech power up. We know the prices. But with motherboards specifically, there's so much more to motherboards that I don't understand how he's going to be able to do a tier list video. So I'm curious to see that one. But yeah, I don't know. Tier list videos, I don't know if that would be my thing. Honestly, my channel is in a weird state right now. I don't even know if budget builds are my thing anymore. Like my most recent video, let's take a look. So let's take a look at the most recent video. Like, look at the numbers. This is a budget build at a very, very achievable, like, you know, it's a very capable price point. I think 500 is a very nice number. It's not super expensive. The system, I think, looks good. I thought the thumbnail looked really good. I thought the price to performance of this thing came out really nicely. And it's been sitting for 11 days and it has 11K views. Like, I don't know if my viewers want to watch budget build videos anymore because this number definitely does not reflect that. I'm the Craigslist pickup guy now. Though even some of my Craigslist pickup videos did not do that well, or as well as I hoped it would. Like, I think the one that was worse was, I think sometime last year when I picked up the, where was it? I mean, they generally do pretty well, but the one where I picked up the card from the 3060 Ti actually, that one was probably one of the recent ones that didn't do too well. But I mean, not too long ago, the budget build videos didn't do too bad. Like even a $1,300 build, which you would think get less views, this got even more views. You know, being more than twice the price. $350 build, two $350 budget builds in back to back. They definitely did a lot better, but that might be because of the lower price point. So yeah, I don't know. It's not feasible to always do Craigslist ride-alongs, especially since we're approaching rainy weather soon. Maybe best bang for buck build would be great. I mean, that's exactly what this is. Even though I spent on aesthetics, this build is essentially a $450 build where you're getting a 3060 Ti and a Ryzen 5600. I don't know how you can get more bang for buck than that. Like, the case ended up being 30 something bucks. Like, the price of performance and the aesthetics of this build all lumped together, I think is really good. But, yeah. Maybe start doing up to 750 to 1,000, 1,500. I feel like those price ranges, when you get into those price ranges, it's not even difficult to build a system. That's when you have so much money to spend that you could just buy everything straight off of Amazon or Newegg brand new without even having to deal hunt really, and still get a good performing system. Like, once you get like past a certain point, you have so much flexibility, and I don't know how interesting that becomes because it's just your generic Ryzen or i5 build with like a $400 graphics card thrown in there. I mean, I likely will have some more expensive builds coming up, but yeah, I don't know. So we'll see. This is a normal trend for YouTube. There are up and down periods. I have had good up periods and then some down periods. So this is just one of those down periods. Like, it's like a roller coaster ride. There's ups and downs. This one has been going on for a little bit longer, but it is what it is. I'm curious why you don't use more expensive parts when you have them lying around. It's just because the more expensive builds in the past have not done as well, usually. Yeah, by comparison, the more expensive builds usually didn't do as good as the cheaper ones, but now it seems like it's changing within the past year or so. Yeah, if you look at the like $1,600, $700, $1,000, they actually have higher views than the current. This one I think is peaked. Like, videos have like a unless I get lucky and it gets fed to the algorithm or something, it's gonna not break 20K. Like, views have stopped coming in for this one. So yeah, maybe the budget builds aren't as interesting anymore, and it's time to go back to closer to $1,000. I think new is ultimately the best because is ultimately the best because scammers in the PC space are at an all-time high. Yeah. Oh, you're curious why I don't use more expensive in my personal rig. So I actually, before the LAN, I took out the ARC A770 and I put in the, what's it called? I put in the RTX 4070 Ti, just so that I could use the NVENC AV1 as well as just have like higher performance for the LAN, because I am recording in 60 FPS now, so to have the most fluid graphics for the gameplay and stuff, like the whole LAN party stories have shifted to 60 FPS, both gameplay and handheld camera wise. So I didn't want to deal with potentially having like crappier gameplay footage, but I don't know if I'm going to keep the 4070 Ti in there. I haven't decided what I want in my system, and I might do a PC upgrade soon. It's been a while. Like, I've been on the 12700K I think for 2 years now. So 12700K for 2 years, which it's still serving me fine, but I don't know, just for content I might do like a full build upgrade, and I might change the case as well. I've been on this case now for a year and a half about, and I always like swapping cases. Like, if I wasn't a tech content creator, I wouldn't swap cases as much as I do. But because I am, like, I want to experience more cases. And companies are, again, like, of the things that companies want to send to content creators, cases are like the top, which is annoying because they take up the most space, but it's one of the cheapest items that a company can send you. So I'm always down to try out new cases and things like that, so. I think you finna come back up soon though. You started, yeah. Honestly, it's really interesting to see week by week. Like, I just had a comment earlier that someone said that they haven't seen my stuff for a while, or they've seen my stuff for years. Well, I guess they decided they didn't sub, so that's why they didn't see my stuff. But like you saying that you're starting to see my stuff come back up now. When I've been uploading pretty consistently recently, as well as uploading shorts and having a weekly stream, when people don't get notifications, they can't watch it, so. Handle case gang indeed. I do want to go to my next case to have a handle. This, can I show this right now? Is it gonna work? Sometimes I gotta change the settings and stuff. No, Droid Cam, you're just gonna decide not to work on me. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, this case, look at how little space it takes up on my desk. It's kind of hard to see because it's super dark when you aim the light down. But yeah, this case, my desk is a mess, sorry. I've got everything here, man. Freaking old phones, a bunch of spare drives, the mic stuff, hubs. But yeah, look at how little... If I had a normal PC on here, it would take up more space up this way. And then I wouldn't be able to put as much crap around my desk as I normally do. But I do like these tower style cases, or similar to that case from that video, because that also takes up a lot less space. So, yeah, the goal is to, the next case, stay in the micro to mini ITX territory of size. E. Villanueva says, why do I keep getting unsubscribed all the time? No idea. I've been unsubscribed. I have been unsubscribed from channels as well in the past that I know I've never unsubscribed from. I don't know if that's a way of YouTube pruning things. Like, is that... It might be something part of the algorithm where they're like, huh, we want to get rid of people you haven't watched recently from your subscriptions because it optimizes like you watching the stuff you're currently watching more or something, because it makes no sense to me why they would do that. I like going to some channels that I haven't watched in a while, that I am subscribed to, and then catching back up with them every once in a while. I love the fractal design ridge despite the temps. Fractal design ridge. Oh, this thing. Yeah, it's too small for me. You gotta have a Flex ATX or some kind of power supply, right? What's the power supply that fits in here? Specifications. PSU. Oh, wait. SFXL? Oh, wait. This thing is not as skinny as the pictures make it out to be. Okay, so you can still fit SFX. It looked like it was specifically SFXL and not both SFX and SFX. Oh, no, it is. The max length is the L. Okay. Huh. Yeah, so this is a... let me look at the form factor again. Yeah, this thing would be kind of a dream space-wise on your desk. Very, very skinny. Looks like the size of like a VCR, or I guess a DVD player, if you're not old enough to know what a VCR is. Except you can put it on its side. I've never been a fan of these super slender form factors. Like if I'm going to have a tall, like a vertical type tower, I want it to be like a tower shaped, like more square. This is very rectangular and skinny. I want it to be like, you know, not girthy, but you know what I mean, aspect ratio wise, closer to a square than a rectangle. It looks like my Comcast router. I mean, it's bigger than a router. It's just the picture doesn't show it to scale right, because it does fit like components and stuff, but yeah. Yo, when is the next LAN video coming out? The next LAN video is coming out in December. Probably 3 months from now, actually. On December 25th. No, I will probably release it a few days before or after Christmas. I haven't decided what the optimal release date would be. Maybe before? I don't know. I don't want to release it Christmas Day because people are probably spending time with their families and busy and doing stuff like that. And I don't want, like, you know, when a video is released, that first, like, period of time, like, first hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever, it's pretty important to, like, rack up as much views as you can so that hopefully you get pushed out in the algorithm. So, yeah, there's definitely planning involved as to when the best time to release during the holiday season is. I don't know what it is, but I'll try to figure it out. Check out the Discord for a really neat tower style case. Alright, we gotta wrap up soon. We're already 2 hours and 60 minutes past stream. Okay, let me see. I did not get a chance to look at this, but we will refer to this spreadsheet. Oh, let me actually take a look before I look at that, because I'm actually curious. Used average, okay, the average eBay price. So now I don't have to run to eBay every single time. This is nice. See, like a 1070 is still 85 bucks on eBay, and this is updated, huh? Interesting. Best price is 54 is the average price. Price per performance, and do, oh, so if you save a copy of these sheets, you could like sort it and use it to your needs. Let's see. RX 590 for 83. Nice. This is a nice database. 1070 Ti eBay spot price. eBay price. Okay. Yeah, we can definitely reference this more. Okay, what is this case you're talking about? Igor posted this. Let me take a look at this real quick. What do you say? Just switch to the North XL, painted my PNY 47 Ti white, and set the lights to the gold brass that Fractal uses. Very nice looking build, Igor. Thanks for posting this. If you're still in the chat, I appreciate it. So yeah, that golden color scheme to go with that wooden theme, like a nice warm. That's nice. Just joined Discord. Thanks for joining, Fracture. Small community, but you know, we use it from time to time, and I use it in the streams all the time. Okay. Let's take a look at this $600 tower you're talking about. Homicides, I'm sorry we did not get a chance to look at this. If you are in next week's stream, please resubmit and I will take a look. Look at this. Dang. Let's see. What is this case? This is a $600 case? I mean, it's perfectly... It's the Pro Art case. That's like... There's the mother... What's that? Who does it? Asus Pro Art? Or is it ASRock Pro Art? Asus Pro Art motherboards for the creators. This is aimed towards like content creators, industry professionals, stuff like that. But yeah, so these are really expensive motherboards. There's a premium. But looking at this case, I mean, this thing looks very sweet. But I can imagine how expensive this thing is. The case is specifically for the GPU, as you can see, the way that the GPU's curves line up perfectly, and it just fits like a glove. So the case is made specifically for the GPU, but what else about the case makes it $600? What's this case's name? Let's just mount the motherboard to the GPU and call it a day. I mean, that's essentially what ITX machines are. What is this case? ProArt case. Zeke, is it Zeke or is it what is it? Zeke FF04. July. Retail at $522 in China. Does it come with the motherboard? Like, it's gotta come with stuff, right? No, it looks like it doesn't. Because on the Tom's Hardware review, it says they recommend component requirements or recommends the following. You have to use a ProArt card. They're recommending a motherboard, so it doesn't come with that. They're recommending a power supply. Like, what does this thing come with that makes it $500-$600? It comes shipped in a big wooden crate? This thing isn't even that big. Why do you need a big crate for it? I don't understand. I agree. This looks cool. What I don't understand is why it is so expensive. Like, even a $400 case alone that doesn't include a power supply, that doesn't include a motherboard, like, you know, bare bones kits. Like, they usually come with something when you're in the upwards of $400, I feel. At least a power supply. But this thing comes with none of those? It's just a case for $600? It's for Chinese flexing? Really? Is it just a Chinese case? So it retails for that in China. Is it even available in the US? I mean, for the flexing, I guess that's fine. And I guess they'll probably send these cases out to, like, I don't know. Who are the aesthetic content creators out there? Optimum... Well, it used to be, what, Optimum Tech? Optimum PC? But now it's just Optimum. Who's the other person? Is it Matt Lee, right? Like, those guys. Where... usually pricing is not even not discussed, but pricing is not a huge factor when they cover some of the tech. I can't say that about Optimum because I think he does talk about price quite a bit, but they still cover like really expensive stuff, and people still enjoy watching it. Like, they could cover some ridiculously priced like tech or whatever, and no matter what, like, the video would still do well. I try to cover a $600 case, I won't even break 1,000 views probably. And people will complain in my comments. Devin Johnston. Devin Johnston. Let me see. That sounds familiar. Devin Johnston. Yes. Yes, very aesthetic-y. Yo, Devin Johnston gives me Dave 2D vibes. But yeah. Like, those content creators. You can't send this to, like... ZTT, Toasty Bros, Scattervolt, Ostox Hardware, me, people like us, and have the video do well, essentially. Antec Flux Pro. I built in an Antec Flux before. We gotta wrap up stream in the next 5-10 minutes, so this is gonna be the last thing I look at. Yeah, so I built in the D700 Flux. So I built in this one before. But they're doing the... what the heck? $200? Close to $200? I do like... Okay, so I do like the temperature sensors or the utilization displays here. Very big fan of those. Let me zoom in more. So overall the case, I do like that Antec is kind of, you know, making a comeback. They've kind of been making a comeback for the last couple of years. Like, they've updated their case designs, you know. They've pretty much fit the mold of what is a good standard case, block case. you know, airflow in the front, tempered glass side panel that doesn't have thumb screws going through the side, decent room for cable management, power supply basement, etc. Like, this case, I don't think there's anything specifically wrong with it. I'm not a wood aesthetic kind of guy. I don't know if, like, what makes this a $220 case compared to most of the competition that are like 120 to 150. Is it the wood? Do they have a version of this that's like $100 with no wood? New tooling, new direction, and wood. Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think this is pretty expensive for $220? And not from a, oh, other wood cases are also expensive, so this is reasonable. I'm just talking about a PC case perspective. Like, for a mid-tower, pretty standard case, you know. Like, unless this has something super like, I mean, I guess they have a lot more going on in the back, more removable, like, trays and stuff. And the cable management actually looks pretty good. But still, I don't... like, this does look super clean back here. But even something as basic as, like, the NZXT H5 or something that's around $100, that cable management is good enough for me. I don't know if I'm down to pay double the price because this looks sweet in the back. Do we need to stare at the CPU? Okay, no. So I have a point against this. You don't stare at the CPU temperature, but I think it's just good to have whenever you do look at it. I do not like running background software 24/7, like the Riva Tuner, MSI Afterburner, hardware info. I don't like running it 24/7. I don't like having overlays on my games when I'm just gaming, if I'm not benchmarking. If I want to just quickly glance and look at the temperature, any other way to do that requires alt-tabbing if you don't have an overlay, opening up the program, looking at the temps and stuff like that, or having rain meter on your desktop. But either way, you still have to alt-tab out of like a full-screen program. If you have multiple monitors, I guess you could run something like on a different monitor. But just assuming single monitor users, quickly looking at your CPU and GPU, knowing that they're like at a decent temp, and then going back to what you're doing, I think that's pretty valuable. Yeah, running overlays and having extra programs, I'm not a huge fan of, like on a day-to-day basis, outside of benchmarking. Not if you use remote sensor panel and an old phone, you could do that too. But having it built into the case, like if I'm just using the computer, like, you know, just using it, I can look, oh, that's my temperatures. Having your phone, or your old phone, I guess unless you have it running 24/7 with your screen showing, you still have to like pull the phone up, unlock the screen, go to the program to look at your stats. I like the temperature thing. I'm not going to complain about that. So I guess from a value standpoint, I would say this, you could charge a premium for these two. But Deepcool had a similar case that was like 120 or something that had these two displays. Have a good night, N2 Tech. See ya. I like my NZXT Kraken for that reason. Yeah. I think it's one of those things where once you experience it, you realize how nice it is. And then you appreciate it more. But people who have not had like AIOs or cases that display the temps, I guess like it's one of those things where if you haven't had it yet, then you're fine without it. But once you have it, it's pretty nice. I miss Deepcool in the US. Hopefully, I don't know, man. Maybe we'll lift our sanctions against them or whatever once everything like blows over. Now, if the display would show FPS, we would be talking. If it was configurable to show FPS, it might be. I don't know. Some of these, I know. Can some of the AIOs do it? That I could have sworn I've seen an AIO, a newer one, be able to display FPS, but you're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to double check on that. It also fits 420 and 360 AIO at the same time. Yeah. So if that's the case, then at 220 it's definitely geared towards higher end systems, because I will confidently say that like probably 80, if not like 85% of PC gamers out there would be okay with like an air tower cooler that costs $50 or less on their CPU. And their GPUs are running nowhere near high enough where it would require like excessive, well, the radiators won't help that. Running 2 radiators, why would you run 2 radiators? For like a custom loop, I guess. But yeah, I guess if you're building a custom loop system and you need a lot of room and like to be able to fit a ton of radiators, 220, you're not going to even flinch at that, given how expensive custom hard loops are and stuff. But yeah. As monitor, I never understood deep cool import restrictions, and Canada did not impose one. I don't understand it either. I don't even know the extent and how bad it was that Deep Cool was selling stuff to Russia. Like, the equipment that they were selling to them, or whatever. To cause them to get banned in the US to begin with. But, I don't know. Maybe they'll come back once the war is over. And things cool down. But I don't know the history of other companies being banned in the US for assisting in, like, you know, enemies of the US and stuff. So we got about 5 minutes left on stream, and then I gotta go have dinner. So I'm going to focus on chat now. You should do a build for the price of a PS5 Pro. That's what's a PS5 Pro going for? Like $600? Is it 700 or 600? I mean, that's definitely a very good budget to have, or a good price range to have a PC. Though, how do you go against a PS4 Pro? Like, if you did a $700 build versus PS5 Pro, how do you even benchmark the two? The PS5, can you even configure settings in games? And I'm definitely not gonna buy a PS5 to benchmark. So it's like doing a $700 build and then using the PS5 Pro in the thumbnail and title for clickbait, because unless you're like Digital Foundry and stuff, you're not benchmarking and monitoring gameplay in on consoles. 700 indeed. It seems expensive for a console, but I was never a person that really got into the console versus PC debate. I think it's kind of dumb. Like, a PC can do so many things a console can't, and a console is very accessible, especially to younger kids and people who don't want a desk setup for a PC and just want a couch game, and don't want to use keyboard and mouse, and don't want to deal with having to install programs, update drivers, deal with Windows updates, and then people are going to say, get Linux! And then those people, you can't even convince that that's a bad idea for a complete newbie beginner to try to game on Linux. And then, yeah, so there's legit reasons to get both console and PC that trying to do a comparison between the two, to me, makes no sense. Of course, a $700 PC is going to perform better than a PS5 Pro. Especially if you use used components. That's also something that I actually get annoyed by PC users when they just, you know, say PCs are better because you get more performance for the same amount of money. Like, of course, if you're using used parts. I'm sure you can get better performance with new parts as well, but still, the argument stands. Anyone who's like, you could get way better performance because you use used parts, then you have to compare it to a used console, which when the PS5 Pro hits the used market over time, it's going to be like $400 or $500. So then it's not an apples to apples comparison. I don't know if I can stand any more PS5 cost versus build videos. They literally all came out on the same day. Yeah, I did see a lot of them when the PS5 news kind of broke out or whatever. Like, a lot of people did that video. And in the video, they're not actually comparing side-by-side performance. They just built a PC that costs the same and are saying it's better. But the PS1 skin themed one bundle goes for pre-order tomorrow. People are thinking 1,000? No way. I think it's probably gonna be maybe 850. I think 1,000 is way too much. That would be like extra dumb. But we can revisit next week, whatever it comes out to. Is a 4690 and 1660 Super 16 gigabytes RAM of DDR3 any good in today's gaming world? That 4690 by this point is like 10 years old. It is time to upgrade the See, you're going to be upgrading the motherboard, CPU, and RAM. A 1660 Super is too powerful. I'm not going to say too powerful, but I would say this is not a good pairing. I would say the CPU is definitely holding the system back. Dude, those i5s from Haswell generation, they're 4-core, 4 threads. That is horrible. It comes with the PS Portal. Oh. Wait, what's the PS Portal? Okay, if it comes with something that's worth a lot of money, then I can see it being 1,000. What is the PS Portal? Remote player. Worth 200 bucks. Okay, so 200 plus the 800 that I quoted-ish, or was guessing. What is this thing? It's just like a handheld? Is this like you stream from... Does this run the thing itself, or does it use your Wi-Fi or whatever to stream gameplay from your console to this? It's like the Wii U gamepad. I mean, it looks like you... I forget, was the Wii U... Were you streaming the gameplay, or was the actual local hardware, the handheld, does it have the specs to run it by itself, without the console? Uses Wi-Fi to stream. It streams gameplay. Okay, yeah, that... Ugh. I mean, I know we're at the point now where speeds are fast enough, and you can stream it kind of without an issue, but like, you mean I can't just take this thing with me on the go and play at like the park or wherever the heck people like to play on the transit while I'm going to and from work. Like, this system cannot play standalone. It has to connect to your main system to play. So then it's only useful when you're at home or have your PS5 nearby. You can play anywhere in the world. You have to have internet connection, connect your console anywhere. Really? But is it going to be good over your whatever the heck? You're going to have to, like, what's it called? When you have to tether internet from your phone or buy a data plan for this thing. Like, there are ways to do it, but it seems like kind of annoying. $700 for no disk drive. Yeah, I don't know what the thought process of that was. Games are so big nowadays, you expect everyone to literally download to their system and then delete it every time they're done playing it. But then if they want to play it on the off chance, re-download it again. Like, wait and use your data cap from your ISP. Like, that versus just slipping a disc in and being able to play. I don't know, man. My PC doesn't have a disk drive either, and it's more than $1,000. That's a good point. But you could put a disk drive if you wanted. You can get a portable disk drive that works via USB. You think that would work on a PS? A PlayStation console? Anyone know? Because they do have USB ports, right? You could get a portable disk drive for like 20 bucks, I'm pretty sure. Here we go, $22. External DVD drive. So for as low as $20, you can have the equivalent of a disk drive. Now, would this work? Well, obviously it won't work to play the games. But, I guess maybe if you want to watch DVDs or whatever you would do. Blu-ray or no way. Yeah, Blu-ray. It's funny. I never got a Blu-ray player, and except for when I got the PS3 when they remade it a little bit smaller for Grand Theft Auto 5, that bundle. That's the only time in my life I've ever had one Blu-ray device in my entire life was the PS3. But that was a whole phase of media that I just skipped over. Didn't even use it. And now we're on these like external SSD drive devices. Should I buy a GPU from eBay? Yes, you should. Do your research though. Buy from someone who has decent ratings and test it ASAP. You have like a 30-day window or something, or I don't know if it's 30, 60 days. You have a certain window of time that if you find out your graphics card is busted because you didn't have all your parts ready to go to build and test, and you wait more than 30 days to figure it out, you're going to be out of luck. Even movies now, if you buy the disc, it has the digital download. Not too many people use the disc. Really? I guess I haven't bought movies that come in like the little plastic case in years. Everything is like streaming now. PS Portal is good if you need to go to the bathroom, I guess. Yeah. Well, the PS Vita was like its own standalone device. The Portal seems like it is like connected to the PS5. Like, it seems like reliant on it. I get no discs if the cost went down. Yeah. And just the designing of, and the machining and tooling and stuff for like the housing. Like, to have a disc and no disc version, it costs more money. To hold 2 SKUs, to keep inventory, to have shelf space for both of them. Like, yeah, there's costs associated with it. It's just easier. What's up, Degenerate Videos? Question mark, question mark. What's that for? What up, The Geese is Gaming? We're actually about to end stream here soon. We've been going for 2 hours and 42 minutes. What am I doing? I gotta eat. I traded a PS5 I bought for $300 for a PC with 3080. That is a good trade. Steam Link is great for streaming games from your PC to like your living room and stuff, right? But I think if you want to go with the whole portability issue, I don't think being reliant on your main console over an internet connection is the best idea. I feel like people want to be portable so they could also play on the go. Or like when they go on vacation, go on an airplane, stuff like that. You can still use a Steam Deck on an airplane just fine. You can use a Steam Deck when you're on vacation in Hawaii without having to bring anything. But bringing your PS5 everywhere, or having to have a really good, reliable, fast connection. Yeah, I have to look into it more because I'm not aware. I don't do consoles or follow it super close. Steam Link works well at home on phones. Okay. I've actually never tried it. I know some people have tried it for World of Warcraft, I think. Steam Link on the phone to play WoW, which seems like a good old time. But alright, that's going to wrap it up for this week's stream. I am working on finishing up a video for this week. But yeah, other than that, back to normal schedule now that the LAN is over. Shorts, weekly streams, weekly videos. Hopefully I do have a bunch of stuff coming up in terms of videos. So look forward to that. But you guys, thank you as always for a fun and lively stream. You guys always give me content and stuff to talk about. So I can now go and eat and rest because I am losing my voice after the LAN and talking on stream for almost 3 hours. I'm going to go now. So you guys have a great rest of your evening. Have a great rest of the week and have a great weekend coming up. Join the Discord if you haven't yet. I'm in there from time to time. I was just in there earlier this morning. But yeah, have a good one. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.